Hi guys, welcome to another episode of TFD, the Failure Diaries. My name is Ayo Bankole Akitujoye.
And I am Precious Kate. And
today we're excited to be hosting a very, very interesting lady. I call her the superwoman of HR. We've done quite a lot of interesting work together. And I said, look, if there's anybody who can do this for us, I and Precious were saying, Lakwa is going to be the best to tell us, our journey, our story around managing people and what the challenge has been to date. Hi, Lakwa.
Hi.
Welcome to TFD.
Hi.
My own handshake.
How's it going, guys? Thank you very much for having me.
I love your hair, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
I had to say
Gen Z Lakwa.
Funny enough, it's not Gen Z. It's just a low maintenance.
Yeah, Gen Z. It's Gen
I
Z.
started again.
It's Gen Z.
Humble.
He's trying to be Gen Z. You work with a lot of Gen Z, so you don't look and say,
you know now.
I'm people like me, mama.
Before
you know that, I can't.
I tell them all the time, I say, please don't call me back. Don't call me back. My name is Lakwa. Please don't call me
But
back.
that's new because I like our own older generation. They like the respect.
Oh yes, now.
So
yes,
now.
Some of us still do. Some of our contemporaries still do, but I think it's getting, it's getting reduced.
Yeah, because generally, no, don't call me ma. I think it's just easier when there are no barriers and we can
exactly.
just
Yes.
But the thing is that with most people, you have to put the boundaries because sometimes they just get carried away.
Exactly.
Yes, you may be calling me Lakwa, but
Yeah.
not.
Forget that.
Yeah.
I used to work in the Big Four, and we had senior partners that you have to call them by name. But I can't lie to you. Even when I see them outside, I'm thinking to myself, what do I call her now? I can't call her by her name because we're not in the office environment, But
I call most of them Egbon outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and if they are women, I call them big sis.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Yoruba boy. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, so the
100%.
cultural thing.
I'm not. I understand office different from even my colleagues, my former colleagues. When we meet outside, I go AY. It's AY, but they still give me the respect and all of that.
Yeah.
That one is okay, but in English or we are in the corporate environment, it's Ayo.
I agree.
You should then have the self maturity to know that. Because I'm calling you does not mean I should be disrespectful.
Yes.
So okay, so Lakwa, let's talk about your journey to date. I know that you've done a lot of work in HR. You've been in KPMG. You have a family. You've then moved to females. You've worked in tech. How has it been? Tell us your story. How has it been to date?
Okay, so where do I start from? Well, I sort of went to school in Nigeria.
Maybe we should start with what you even do so that people know you, our audience know you.
Okay, so I'm in HR, right? But I pride myself on focusing on the transformation aspect of HR, right? So for me, when I think about
transformation?
Okay, so let me explain it, right? So there's just basic human resources where you come in, you do your recruitment, you do your talent management. But I found over the years, and maybe it's my consulting background, right? But I found that I like to think of where the organization is having issues, right?
Yes.
People-related issues. And then how can we go in to solve those problems? And sometimes it is the quality of the staff that you have. Sometimes it is your culture. Sometimes it's pay. Sometimes it's just some manifestations in the business that cannot be moved and it's causing issues.
Sometimes it's principalities in the company.
Exactly. So sometimes it's principalities. So I think I like the idea of going in to solve a problem and not just ticking the box on everyday personnel management,
recruitment, salaries.
So you do this and then you do it. So I basically do HR. I've worked across various industries. I've been very fortunate. But recently somebody asked me and they were like, that why have you been moving? What exactly, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I sort of felt bad when she asked the question because I was thinking to myself, actually, it's true, Olapo, you've moved. Because I've worked in entertainment, which I guess is retail, but entertainment, that's film house, right? I've worked in tech. I've worked in consulting, and consulting allows you to work across various sectors and industries. I've also I started my career in an investment bank, one of the leading ones in Nigeria. So I've sort of moved financial services here, there, and everywhere. So I started feeling bad. I was like, it's true, this question that she asked, does it look like I don't have a vision? Because the week before in church, the pastor was like, you need to have a vision. That once you have a vision, then there's some things that when it comes your way, you won't take it. But I thought actually, no.
I've been taking things that.
I've just been taking just any walk. So I was
like any walk, any walk.
But I was like, actually, no, that's not the case. I think I just have a curious mindset, right?
Okay.
And because of that, I want to understand what is going on in various sectors. And that was what consulting allowed me to do.
So do you do the same thing across all boards? You do the same, have you been doing the same thing from one company to the other?
Well,
Or it changes
the
with
challenges
the-
vary, right?
Exactly.
The challenges from company to company, they vary. But ultimately, the problem that most people are facing in Nigeria now is quality of staff and how that quality affects performance of the business and output. So it's really just business performance, but you can track it back to people. So what are the people issues that will impact whether positively or negatively on your business performance? And that's it. So just to give like a recap of, what I do. Yeah.
So let's go back to your journey and your story, and what were the major inflection, if I can call it inflection, or pain points or challenges or failure points, failure gates.
Okay.
And how did you even decide that, okay, this is something I want to do
Yeah.
for myself? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I went to school in Nigeria, high school in Nigeria. I went to university abroad. I studied international relations and economics because from when I was young, I always thought I wanted to work as a diplomat, United Nations, all that kind of stuff. But it didn't pan out. I finished uni.
So do you consider that a failure or, some sort of setback?
No,
you
not
just-
really.
I
It was
mean-
just one of those things. But actually, let me tell you the biggest one. There are two in like my early childhood journey. When I was maybe it was like SS1 or something, I didn't do very well in my promotional exam. So I had to come back and retake one paper before we resumed in September. That was a wake-up call for me because I was like, shit, I was on the verge of repeating. I said, how will I do this thing? What will my friends will now be in a higher class than me. I have to now make
that used
new
to be
friends.
so humiliating in those
Man.
days.
So I was just like, So I think for me, that was the first thing that I was like, no. This can't happen. Now, then when I got to the UK, I did my A-levels 2 years. And then I took
I'm surprised you're not saying in it.
I say it's but just not right now. So I did my A-levels, which was a 2-year course.
Okay.
And then I was going to take a gap year before heading out to uni. And in that gap year, I thought, I'll apply, I'll get a job. So I'd been applying, for jobs. And you know how it is in the UK, like those rejections, they come
very hard.
So I now got an interview with 3M. I can't forget that interview to tell you how, big of a deal it was for me. So I got an interview with 3M and it was an assessment center and it was my first. In fact, I didn't even know what to expect. It was my first time and the place was a bit far. I had to take the train, maybe like 45 minutes to get there. Anyway, you get there, you know how assessment centers run.
Yeah.
You're basically there the whole day.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't know.
From morning
So I
to-
got there and I started the day. I think we had the first thing was a face-to-face interview. Then the second one, I think we had to write something. But it was so exhausting. By the time it was the other way. You start with like the panel, then you do something else. But by the time I got to the last stage, which was the face-to-face interview, they asked me a couple of questions. And at some point, I just said, I don't know. Like, I'm tired. I don't know.
Wow.
I was young now. Maybe I was like 17 or something.
Wow.
Needless to say, I didn't get the job. I was broken. I was sad. I think I even cried.
Of course.
Everything. I said, okay, what am I going to do with this gap here? I then applied to a call center, and I got the job with the call center and I was there for a year, but it was fantastic. I met so many amazing people. I met some guys that were traveling from South Africa. I made new friends. I went on a weight loss journey. Like it ended up being good, even though there was a bit of disappointment there. So fast forward, 2007, came back to Nigeria, started off in an investment bank. And I'm sure that some of my friends that worked with me in that company, they watch this, they'll just be nodding their heads because they know who I'm talking about. So I had this boss. Oh my God. She was, if you ask her today, I'm sure she'll tell you that she meant well. But she was very tough. Like she was very tough. And when you think about it, very tough to a group of 23, 24 years that are just starting their career. Actually, no, I think it's bullying, right? Like that's what I would actually term it now. But then we just thought, she was very tough. And it was so interesting, the impact that had on me. I didn't realize it until much later. And maybe I can term that some of like in line of what we're talking about here, where you face like challenges and stuff. I spent 7 years in that business. At some point, she left. I had transitioned to HR. I'll go into that, maybe later if time permits. And then I left and I took like a 4-month break. I just had a baby, so I just took a 4-month break.
Also, in
But
all
then-
of this, you were married, you were pregnant.
So
Like, a lot was going on.
Yes, I think 5 years into my 7-year journey in that investment
right.
bank, I got married, or maybe 6 years into it, I got married. I had a baby, but the year that I had the baby, I left.
Okay.
And then I started a new job. And do you know that her behavior, right, towards me, the team, and it wasn't just me, by the way, it actually impacted my confidence when I then got to my new job, because I always thought, I don't think I can do this work. Like when I joined the Big Four that I was working in.
So that was a negative impact on you.
Yes, but most times you don't know. When I joined the Big Four, I remember my first project, I kept on thinking, hey, these people are going to think that I'm a fraud. Like, I don't know this work. So when I did the work and the manager she took the work and she said, this is not bad. I said, maybe I'm not so bad after all.
I'm better than I thought.
Yeah.
And then my first project was a strategy project. So I was like, what's my business with strategy? I told people I do HR. Like, why are people giving me this work? Why are people setting me up? I know how it is. Everybody's telling you, it's very tough here. It's very challenging. You have to be da. I say, hey, God, in August, the point where I was praying before every project. I'll carry that project and say, Father, Lord, please, you can see this project. It has to go well.
Please, don't spoil my name.
But I mean, it went well. So I did that. Okay, let me briefly go back to how I transitioned into HR. I started off in an investment bank. I was doing research, equity research. So all the stocks on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, you look at it every day, you get the price list, you look at it, you look at movement, you write a report. I think I used to cover cement and some banks. Then obviously we had the opportunity to buy shares, buy stocks. So ideally at that time, you would expect that maybe that's even another failure. You'd expect that we're working where they're doing it, we'll be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't make money, because any spotlight where they pay bonus, I say, Amaka. Right,
so you're going to enjoy life.
I'm going to London. I found KLM tickets. I'm going to London. In fact, all of us, the week that they pay salary, all of us were other Chinese. We were just we were enjoying our lives. But you know how it is. When you're young, you enjoy the first money that you make. So about 3 years into the equity research journey, I just thought, I really don't care about cost to income ratio, all those kind of things at the banks that you get on investor calls. I was like, I'm not really interested in this thing, and but the firm was small. So I said, okay, I want to do HR. That I've looked around and I think that that's what I want to do. I cannot tell you the actual reason why I thought I wanted to do HR and why I thought I'd be good at it, but I thought, okay, let me just, it's an obvious area for me. Let me try it. There was a bit of pushback. The firm is too small.
So this was 5 years or 4 years?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
So I done NYSC 3 years after, the firm is a bit small. We don't need that many people.
So when you finished from London, you came back to Nigeria?
Yes. I finished in July. I came back in September.
All right.
I enrolled in NYSC October and I started working. Because I just thought, all this waiting in London, you're working, you blow the money now. You end up going to Europe somewhere. You just enjoy the money. Like this money you want to save, you're not really going to save the money. Just come back and just start. So I got a bit of pushback. There are not enough people. The firm is too small. We don't need more than one person in HR, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I kept on pushing and pushing, which is why it's always good to push. I pushed and pushed. I think it took like maybe 6 months for the CEO to agree that, okay, fine, you can move to HR. So I moved.
How did that feel, that 6 month period? Was it, were you anxious?
I was because I was beginning to explore other options. That look, if I can't do it here, let me go outside and go and do it. Because
6 months is a long time for people right now. That threshold.
It's a very long time, especially where you are not interested in what you're doing. So of course your performance there is not optimal.
Exactly.
You'll be getting bashed because you'll be like, why are you not doing your work? But you're just thinking, I don't care about another investor call. I don't really want to know why the cost to income ratio is lower than the last time. Like, I'm not really interested. I know what I want to do, and you can't continue to keep me where you think is better for you.
Yes.
Consider me as that's one of the things that I hold dear even now. One of the things that I always tell like line managers or CEOs when they say, this person is not performing, I'm like, okay, have you tried to explore all the options?
Yeah.
This person's interest
Yes. Maybe she wants to do digital marketing. Maybe she's just not in the right place. And I've seen it happen.
Exactly.
You take somebody out of a particular function or department, you put them elsewhere, and they thrive. They excel.
They bloom.
It's
Yeah.
like taking a fish out of water and expecting it to
But then
swim.
again, for a business, it's not always so easy, right? Because imagine that you're looking for someone to do your digital marketing, and you want someone that can hit the ground running. Yet you don't have the time to bring in someone and coach that person on how to get there. So there's a balance to it. Anyway, back to the.
So did you lose any pay cut, any year, anything?
No.
With the switch?
No. So I switched and, I would say, I don't know if it's luckily for me or unluckily for me, I don't know. But the person that was in that role, like the person I was reporting to, after a few months, she said, she's tired. She wants to go and rest.
That's the HR?
Yes, the HR. She was going to rest. The CEO said, okay, no problem. He's not going to hire anybody else. I said, me that I've only done 9 months or so inside this HR function. You now want to leave me alone, reporting directly to you. And he was a bit demanding. Anyway, God helped me. We figured it out along the way. the two of us were, he would shout sometimes, which I would take the L, I'll do better next time, that sort of thing.
So you kind of learned on the job.
Exactly. And it got better. And in fairness, I think that a lot of the skills that I picked up in my first job really, really helped me, going forward. My PowerPoint skills, my Excel skills, even presentation, the ability to engage with like leadership and all of that. It was all from there. So when I got to the Big Four, because I was in the other job that I took after I left them very briefly, maybe about 9 months, and then I moved to the Big Four. When I got to the Big Four, it was easier for me. Like there wasn't anything that they were going to throw my way that I was like, oh, because I've worked with some of the brightest minds in Nigeria. I'm coming from one of the biggest investment banks in Nigeria. So there's nothing people can tell me that would make me tremble, So that I think for me really helped. And then I moved to the Big Four, and that was good.
What's the Big Four?
The Big Four, how would you describe Big Four now?
The Big Four are the world's biggest 4 accounting firms.
Yeah.
Okay. Accounting and audit. So KPMG, PwC, EY, Deloitte.
Yes.
Okay. So you moved to one of them?
I moved to one of them in advisory. So I was doing HR consulting. So basically going from client to client, doing some of their, when they have problems, basically you just go in and try and solve it. What the problems are or where. So after that, I did that for a few years and I thought, okay, I want to try something else. Well, actually, I had a conversation that made me think, okay, I want to try something else. I had a bad experience in between, actually, so maybe I should go into that. Because that as well made me really question myself. And I started thinking to myself that, is it that you're not a good judge? So a couple of years into my Big Four journey, I just thought to myself, let me go and try something else. I don't know why I thought this, but I guess I allowed that voice on my shoulder to get too loud. And then I moved, but I made a mistake.
Okay.
Like 3 months into being in the place, I was like, this is not for me. Like I'm not built this way. I can't work with these guys.
What was the experience like?
Okay, so culturally, it was a bad fit. I was coming from best practice, all of those things. First of all, no shade, but the office was dark. Like they used like brown wood paneling for the entire office, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. Like
aesthetics.
I'm usually on the 15th floor. I can see the whole of VI 1004. I can see everything. Like what's going on? Why is everywhere so dark?
Proud.
Maybe. But you know what's funny? Actually, after I left, I was like, okay, maybe I could have handled things a little bit better. But you learn every day, right? So I think first of all, I was just like, I'm not sure about the whole office aesthetic, everything. But I could even get over that. But it was little things, right? Little things like, my line manager expecting maybe he gets work at like 11 or 12 or whatever and doesn't leave until like 7 or 8, and then he's expecting that me too, I'll be there. I have 2 children.
That you'll be there with him.
That you'll be there with him. Maybe when I carry my bag at 5, you are going? Yes, I'm going. Like, I don't. And then...
that happened to me when I was in the capital market and you could not leave. This one is not even permission. You couldn't go home until your boss leaves, and your boss doesn't leave earlier than 10.
Yeah. So you're just there. Sometimes you're not doing anything.
My friend was called back from his house in Yaba. I am not joking. The guy is a CFO at a very solid company now.
Because he left the office.
Yes. He came back to me. He was already cooking. He was called. How dare you? Who told you to leave? Did you not know that I was here? No, what rules? That's not a rule.
No, but that's not a rule. Because if you even want to go contractually, you're supposed to work 40 hours a week.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
that is the rule.
Working until your boss leaves the office, is that something you were told you're going to do?
No,
or you just
nobody can tell you that. It's a cultural thing.
Nigerian culture.
It's a cultural thing.
Like you finish
whatever you want him to do, he can do it at home.
And that's another thing that I think COVID has really actually helped us to do. But not everybody can work within those confines, in fairness. And I think that if we had all of those things many years ago, it wouldn't have worked. I think COVID was what really helped.
COVID transformed,
a lot of people.
Shaped everything.
So the company is maybe 30-something years old today. As at when I joined, it was maybe 25 years or 20-something years into it. The person I was reporting to was employee 003, And on reflection, I think that what the CEO was trying to achieve was a scenario where he wanted the HR, the people function, to be a little bit more vibrant, to be more up to date. But when you have deep relationships with certain people, you cannot, you are hoping that whoever it is that you bring in is powerful enough or is strong enough to upset the apple cart, like to basically do what it is that you cannot do, and you cannot do it because of relationship, right? But you want somebody else to do it. I guess I didn't have the emotional intelligence at that time to understand what it is that he wanted, And I just thought, even if I'm going to do that, not in this context, because why? Like I wasn't sold out to the brand.
You were thrown in the middle of multiple stakeholders.
I know, do you know, he actually told me that, that power is not given, it is
it's taken.
It's taken or something. I said, I don't like but you have to make the way for me. Like you have to cut a bit of the leaves in the path for me to.
And then when you even take the power,
light, at least you can't just leave
when you take the power and you do what you need to do, you would now realize the next day or even that evening that this same guy and those people that you took power for, they are hanging out somewhere talking about you.
Yes.
Lakwa, it's been so insightful. Everything you've talked about today, as you know, it really resonates with a lot of people. And there's one thing I really wanted to ask you, because a lot of our guests we've had are people from the business world, entrepreneurs. To see someone in the corporate world who is really, making it, because we have this myth right now that if you're not a business person or you don't have your own thing that you're doing, you cannot be successful. I mean, look at Lakwa. so please, we need to know there are people.
Precious, you are part of them. Yes. Precious left the corporate world to go and be selling cars.
Yes. But she's making money now.
Yes.
It's all over her. I can see it all over her.
Because I planned for it. That's something I wanted to do. And
she has not spent the money on me.
A decade at least, And after I put in work, I knew that, okay, I wanted something else for my life. I am very good I did product management. I did a lot of things and they have actually helped me. So if you start off early from maybe straight from school and you do your business, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like every experience you garner, like everything you go through, they also build you into becoming.
They help mold you.
Yeah, they help mold
100%.
you. Yeah.
I agree with that. And it's interesting that you asked me about a lot of people being on the show that are business people and career people and being successful. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. If I said it on Twitter the other day how the CEO of MTN is the highest paid person.
So it earns about 8 million a day or something?
Something like that. When I was...
And he's an employee?
Yes, exactly. Okay. When I was in secondary school, I had this family friend. Her dad was a very top guy in one of the multinationals, the beverage multinationals.
I should leave this business and come and play for work.
They play.
And, the man was making money. So it is possible to make... You work hard, though. In fact, when I joined the Big Four, right. That's when I knew that, work. In fact, I was 7 months plus pregnant. I was at work until 12 midnight.
Wow.
Because we had a client presentation the next day. But that
time there was no remote work.
There was nothing like that. So, in fact, we had given the partner the work to review. She came back, all sorts of comments at like 7 o'clock. I said, hey, God, what am I going to do? So we sat, me, the manager, and one other person. The manager was just doing, as she was there. We were working on it. And for me, what was holding me was that, look, I was going on maternity leave after that meeting the next day. So I was like, whatever you want to do, hey, back by me, don't worry. I will be here. Yes. I'll finish the work and I will go. But it's some of those things, right? And fun fact, we went to the client the next day. The man said he had to go to Abuja and we did not do the presentation.
Wow.
We didn't do the presentation.
Can you imagine?
So it's those things, right? I mean, people slept in the office multiple times. But you know what? Those opportunities are what will give you the opportunity to catapult, right? Between that job,
you learn the discipline.
Yes.
Between that job and the next job, I think my salary doubled. And
I feel like that thing you went through, for some people, it may have been a bad experience, because I feel life is how you look at it.
Yes.
If you had seen that as, no, I can't do this anymore. I need to resign. I need to go home and rest.
People need to build thresholds.
Yes. And I think that
thresholds keeps getting lower and lower.
That thing is missing.
And that's why we came up with this podcast, because people need to see that, look, what you are going through is what people
is normal.
have gone through.
It's normal. In fact, you are not even going through anything, because I think back of the days when you are walking, like literally, you are walking like the house is on fire. Like, as one of my friends would say, we're not trying to cure cancer. What's going on here? but you do the work like you are trying to, like the client is waiting for you at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know he's not, but you are doing that work. These days, people will tell you, please. And I'm like, what's the work? Like, what's the work I'm giving you to
honestly
do? These days, in fact, I've even become a bit impatient. My people will tell you that she can become, because I'm just like what
is even going on here?
Like, we have worked consistently for 5 years, working at that pace. I mean, now I'm happy that I no longer have to do that. But if I have to do it,
it's easy for you to do it.
So when I say stuff like, if we have to, let's come to work on the weekend. And people are like, I'm like, I don't understand. Saturday, Sunday, let's do the work. Because it has to get done. And it is those things that allow you to 1x, 2x, 3x
your income. Exactly.
And by the time you are Xing your
because the
money,
capacity is so elastic.
Exactly. And by the time you are making money, even as a corporate person, you're able to make, hopefully, with wisdom, with prayer, all of that, reasonable decisions. Like, so it's not, in fact, fun fact, business people, they envy people in 9 to 5.
Oh, yes, of course.
Because guess what? That money is regular.
I do.
That money is regular.
Because I go broke a lot.
And you, by like the 25th or 20th, you're thinking month end is coming.
Today, like this, I'm already thinking of how I'm going to
for
pay.
Me, it's somebody that has to
I'm
worry
thinking
about
of my next receivable.
Do you understand? They're thinking, I have to go and call that client. That money has to come in. And when you take a job, you think, okay, this one will cover X salaries. That one will cover blah, blah, blah. But I don't have to think about that. Exactly. You know, all I have to...
And your money is them.
And all I have to think about is negotiating. I don't know about any them. I don't know if you have seen my Facebook.
Lapo, don't let's go there.
Ayo, please.
Don't let's go there.
But the thing is, in the corporate world, your money can be bam.
It can be.
Lapo's own is them.
It can be. I don't know where Ayo is getting this.
Okay, let's move on. You are C-suits.
There are people that are them. That I want to be like them.
We always want to be like them. But you are them. Okay, you are them. So you want to be them.
Maybe good.
Anyway, so you were mentioning how, because I'm a bit curious. I mean, because I can imagine, I also was in KPMG and I knew how it was for, people who were pregnant. It doesn't matter. I mean, so anyway, I mean, look, they get dragged every day on Twitter, so it's not. I don't think it's an issue. And again, it's good memory. So I can imagine.
So you guys work at the same time?
Yeah, no, in the same place, but not at the same
time. Not at the same time.
So through investment banking, through the Big Four, and through your career, and working, toiling day and night, getting pregnant, getting married, raising children, and all of that. Was there a time when there was clash of interest between work and family, or work and other things, other obligations?
No, and I think that I've been very, very fortunate. I've worked with people. I think maybe, say for my first job, which was I was not married. I was young. I had all the time in the world, all of that, and it was a bit of that. You stay late when you're not really doing much. But I think after that, I was very, very fortunate to work with people that understood. And what I always tell people is that you have to start the way you mean to go on, right? So when I first started in the Big Four, once it is 6 o'clock, I carry my bag. And they'll be, you are going home. Yes, I'm going home. Whatever it is that you want me to do, I'm happy to do it, but really around 8 o'clock. Because once I get home at like 6:30, my children goes to bed at 8. So between that 6:30,
so it's not that you can't keep working.
Exactly.
But
We will talk, we will
to
gist,
go home.
we'll do whatever, bedtime, and then they will go and sleep.
So you're still
then
able
carry
to
my laptop.
have your time as a mom.
You get carry my laptop, and I'm just
Did
going
you used to
at
do school runs?
No.
Okay.
No. So I've also been very, very fortunate.
Yeah.
I have a nanny that's been with me for almost a decade.
Aww.
So those things, yes. Those things actually really help to build a structure around it. My sister lives not too far away from me. My mom doesn't live too far away from me.
Support system is very important.
Exactly. So
thank God you came back home. If you were in the UK, how would you have done that?
Well, I don't think I could have even been in the UK. To be honest. If anywhere, maybe like Dubai or anything. So if people know of any job openings in Dubai, just tell me. Let me carry my bag and go. And they do. And I like that place. But anyway, that's a story for another day. So, Ayo, I think for me, as I said, I've been very fortunate. Even the partner that I was reporting to in KPMG, fellow woman, she too, once it's a particular time, she carry her bag.
So women supporting women.
But you can get an email from her 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But she has to be home for a particular time to tend to particular things.
And I think it's important that employers also understand these dynamics.
Yes. So for me, I'm like, okay, no problem. You can go home, but as long as I get the work. And that's even something that I used to clash with, one of my former bosses about, things like punctuality and timing. And I'm like, look, for me, I'm deliverable led, right? Once you do the work, once the work comes out, obviously don't take the piss with, coming to work late and not coming at all. But once you get the work done, then it's fine. Even if you have to get it done at 9 o'clock because you have to go for a particular function.
This must have happened after COVID, because before COVID, it wasn't like that.
Yes.
Because before COVID, your resumption time is very
well,
important.
yes, your resumption time, very,
some of the companies adopted, to be fair, because, after I left KPMG, I joined PwC, and as at 2012, PwC tax was already doing flexi hours.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, you
Flexi
could
days or flexi hours?
flexi hours. You
So
could
you can do like
resume.
7 to
Like
4.
a
Yeah,
Okay.
you know. So I never forget. You know, Taiwo, the chairman of the tax committee, was the head of tax in PwC at that time, and I remember very clearly that PwC tax led flexi hours and a couple of other initiatives at that time. So yeah, you know, I know that going into 2020-ish, there was already some, because I know I'm a strategy person doing transformation. So I know that those conversations were already happening in several organizations around flexi hours, you know, not remote work as we know it, but at least flexi hours and a couple of, but it was, so that's why you see that it was most of the companies who had some semblance of those things that adjusted better.
You're right. You're actually right.
Oh yeah,
You're
they were
right.
the ones that adjusted better during COVID.
Yeah.
And for the ones who were very rigid, it hit them really badly.
Yeah.
You know,
because you have people that get to work at 6:30. So if I get to work at 6:30, why can't I just start work at 7 and close at 4?
Exactly.
Because why do I have to be at work until 5 or
Exactly.
6? Get home at 9 or 10? Because I have to wake up so early to get to work at 6:30 again. Let me just start the work whenever I get to the office. So 100%.
Parting nuggets or closing shots. What are your, because I know you work with a lot of people, especially young people. You see how they give up. You see the challenges they go through. I mean, and you compare that with your own journey, and you're like, you know, really chill. You know, this is not so bad. So, what's your closing thoughts for them? You know, what are the milestones that you know that there will most likely be hiccups or failures or challenge or setbacks, and you know, how should they deal with it?
Okay, so I think that first of all, I would say that it's for a season, right? And you have to also recognize the seasons that you're in. When you start your career, that is the time that you actually have to put your head down and do the work. It's not going to be easy work. It's not going to be the most glamorous work. In fact, you may start in a not so glamorous way, but don't be proud, right? Just do the work and have an end goal at the end of it. That look, I'm going to be in this place for XYZ number of years. Even if it doesn't pan out that way, that's fine. Because most people say, I'll do 2 years, you end up doing 5, you know, but I'm going to be here. And these are the skills that I want to get out of here. Because that's my boss that was not so good. You know, what she said one day, she was like, well, you know, if you think about it, because she was not Nigerian, if you think about it, you know, there's the Excel training, there's PowerPoint training. If you're leaving here tomorrow, nobody's going to crack your head and tell you to bring it. And it's true. If they've trained you on all of those things, when you're leaving, nobody's going to crack your head and tell you to bring it.
So basically, they should find wherever they are as a learning, as a school.
And they should take everything.
They should take everything.
So if they tell you to do project management, do it. Accounting, do it. A bit of
Every
construction, go to the construction site,
And
do it. Because in 5-6 years, you may then hone into that thing that you like.
I mean,
And then now focus on it. So if it's, for example, project management, you can then go and take all of the courses. You can look for jobs that are in that line. Then you can now start building your competency in that area and now becoming a subject matter expert. Once you are known as that person that can do this thing, people, you may not even have to apply for jobs anymore. People will call you. So understand the season and understand that you actually have to grind and do the work. Another thing as well, and I see it online all the time, I always roll my eyes, and I've even abused some of the big fours that still do it. But do very well in school if you can. Right? Because unfortunately,
I do it, so you can add me to the abuse.
In Nigeria, it still matters, right? And for as long as you are here, it matters. So just try.
Is there even anywhere it doesn't matter? I think just
you know, in some countries now, you don't have to finish school. You're just gonna do maybe one DevOps course. You're gonna do something, and next thing you can get a job as an engineer. It doesn't really matter that you don't have a university degree. Maybe once you just have like a school leaver certificate, that kind of thing, you are fine. But
because the quality of their leaver certificate is
higher. It's higher than here. Like you cannot compare an SSC holder to like a degree holder.
Here, even a degree holder doesn't have most of the skills.
Because now people have even started discriminating per university. I will tell you the Nigerian ones that I favor. I won't say it, but there are some of them that they are meant to be very strict and they don't allow mobile phones. But the graduates from that university, they sabi the work. Like it's not even.
They are generally.
I've met. In fact, fun fact.
I've met several.
I've met 2.
I know the school you're talking
They are
about.
sisters. They have both worked for me, like in my team. Trust me, the output is maybe it's also in their family, but
the
output,
they are good.
They are generally better composed.
Yes,
and this is what people used to shade when we started.
You understand that? Please, I beg this place. They don't allow them. They don't wear long skirts. Or something.
I don't even know whatever they do. But whatever formula is working, they are using in that place is working.
Telling them there, but there's something that they're instilling in them. There. And there were a few of them as well. In fact, there's one of their alumni, I know like 2 or 3. They're doing really well. Anyway, cut the long story short. Even in school, do the work. Because when I was in my final year, I didn't realize that you're doing this thing for yourself. You're not doing it for your mommy, for your daddy. Yeah, they're paying your school fees, but guess what?
Honestly, it's for
my
yourself,
mom,
man.
Like to tell me that
they can't apply for the work for you. So just try and just get inch. You know how when you're running a marathon, as you get towards the end, it seems like you don't even have. I mean, I've not run a marathon before, but anyway, when you're just running, when you're getting towards the end, it seems like it is the hardest point. But just push through, because you will get through it. And at the end of it, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years,
you snap. There will be a snap at the point where you just snap,
and it's no longer like
easier.
One, like you're climbing a step 1, 2. It is now 2.
Yes.
6,
because you
9,
built in that capacity
15,
earlier.
Yes, like you are now actually going, like you're now leapfrogging. You're no longer just taking, what's the word? It's not numerical. It's
baby.
There's a quantum leap.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. So that's my advice.
All right, thank you so much, Lapo. It's been pleasant having you here. Like everything, it's been from one back to back, one thing to the other. But I think that's it for today. Right?
Thank you so much, Lapo.
Thank you very much, guys. I have actually really. This is fun fact. This is my first podcast.
Oh, really?
It's not bad. I've been shading people. I was going. Everybody just do podcast. But I like the fact that it is a free and fluid environment to just talk.
Yeah.
I think when you are sitting in front of the camera in front of you, there's a potential for it to be a little bit stiff. But when you're having a conversation, it's definitely a lot easier.
Like
so
we
well
always
done,
tell
guys.
our viewers and our audience, it's unfiltered, it's raw. These are real life experiences, because we actually want people to know that these things happen.
Yeah.
And on this podcast, I don't even when we say fail, we don't mean fail, because for us failure
is a lesson.
It's a lesson.
100%.
It's a stepping stone to greatness.
100%. To piggyback on the experience that I had where I said that it wasn't a culture fit, right? For me, after that, I look very, very clearly where I go next. Like like the company may be the most successful company, but once it is clear that culturally we're not aligned, there's no point. Like, offer me times 3 of what I'm earning today, I will not come. So you're right. It is just you understanding what works and what
and instead of brooding over the failure,
just dust off your slippers or whatever, your feet
and
or
keep
whatever,
it moving.
and keep moving.
My family members tell me that I don't have heart because of how quickly I move from seeming tragedies or failures.
You can't do it, especially in Nigeria.
I'll take the hit, but I'll keep it moving very quickly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you hold on to it, and then
and
it begins to affect other things. Exactly.
And then you just find that you're not moving forward. You're just dwelling.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, the world is going the interesting thing about time, right? I know a few people that maybe they moved to Canada a few years ago, and some of them are back. I'm like, has it been 3 years already? So it's clear that if you wait for something, you're just brooding on, holding on to something. Life is still moving
very quickly.
Do what it is that you have to do and move on.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Lapo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming
today, guys. Thank you.
We hope you had fun here.
Yes, I did.
All right.
You'll come again when we invite you.
Yes. All the best
And
with
please
this
tell your
podcast,
friends,
guys.
tell your colleagues, to follow us on, all our platforms.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram, TikTok,
Twitter. Yeah, I was going to say because Ayo is
we're everywhere.
Ayo is an OG on
Spotify, Apple, everywhere.
Okay.
YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us again today. See you again next time. Bye bye.